At the moment, what I'm going to be doing is to prepare the batter to make a toad in the hole. Now, I'm just going to make the batter at the moment, and I'm going to let it sit, because I do find that if you let it sit for several hours, it does rise a bit better, and I do prefer the taste of it that way. So I'm not going to be making the toad in the hole itself, but I'm just going to be making the batter. So all I've done is, from the Cookie Dough app, I'll just show you this. So I just looked at the recipe, so I just searched for toad in the hole. I must admit, this is something that my kids love, and I love it. We love sausages and a good Yorkshire pudding. So what I've done is I've searched up toad in the hole, and the recipe is really easy. All I've done is I've actually changed it to 6 portions. It was on 4, but even though I've got the 3 of us here, we do like to increase the portions a little bit. And if I've got any spare, then I tend to have it the next day, put it in the fridge. It never lasts long in this household. Anyway, what I do find is that the ingredients are really short. There's not a lot on there. I've got all of this in stock anyway. So all I'm going to do is I basically I'll press the cook today. So I'll press that button, and what that does is that sends it to the machine, and you look within the recipes for this week and it's there, ready to go. So pop the phone to the side, and as you can see, it's within the My Week option. And that's what I love. It's instantaneous. So press the toad in the hole, start cooking. It does say to preheat the oven. Clearly at the moment I'm not going to be cooking that. All I'm going to be doing is to make the batter for later. So the first thing it says is to put 1 tablespoon of goose fat or lard in a baking dish. Clearly at the moment I'm not going to be doing that, because I'm not going to put the dish into the oven to heat up. Now when I do it later on, that's something I will do. But what are we doing? So you can skip that part. Right, so 150 grams of plain flour. I have got some left here. Now I knew that wasn't going to quite be enough, which is why I'm a little bit prepared this time. Got another bag. Now I did think about just starting the new bag for the video, make it look a bit more professional, but no, that's not me. I'm not professional. I just like to make it up as I go along, and in the excitement and in the haste, what I've done is I have put too much in. So what I need to do is to take some of it out. So just get a spoon. There we go. Right, that's it. So 153, that's close enough for me. Right, next one. 370 grams of milk. Let's get the milk out. Now I suppose this is always a little bit odd, because clearly milk is normally measured in litres or millilitres, but I know I've got plenty in here, so I do need to be careful on this, because I can't take the milk out quite as easily as I just took the flour out. That's why I need to pour it in really slowly. 360, 373, that's good enough for me. Spot on. Right. Next, 3 large eggs. Now I have prepared this. I thought rather than cracking the eggs in there. I'm not sure if you can see that. I can't tip it over much more, but anyway, you've got to take my word for this. I've got 3 eggs that I've already put into the dish there. 3 large eggs. There we go. And next, so 1 pinch of fine sea salt. I do use quite a lot of salt. There we are, that's a good pinch in there. 1 pinch of ground black pepper. Here we are. There we are, a cheeky pinch in there. And what do we got? Insert measuring cup into mixing bowl lid. Then, so we've got that in there. Then, turn speed selector to 6. So, turned it to 6. And 12 seconds later, that's it. Batter is done and ready. And really the idea of that is you can set the mixing bowl aside, leave the mixture to rest until needed. That's it. Simple. So I must admit, we do have toad in the hole quite a lot at home, but I do find that I tend to mix it all in a bowl. I do use a whisk manually. It's quite labour intensive, especially if you want to get a nice thick mix in there. So what I do, let me just show you that. So I know I can't really tip it up, so I'll just move the camera down a little bit. Let's see if we can get it this way. There we are. So that's the batter mix. And all I'm going to do is, I don't actually need this recipe for probably about another 3 or 4 hours. And that's the beauty of this, that all I'm going to do is I'm just going to let it rest. And then when I need it, I'm going to sort of almost go back and just follow the early instructions. But they're really simple. Just put the goose fat in the pan, put it in for a couple of minutes, just get that nice and hot. And then you put the sausages in, and then you put the batter on top. And then you've got a fantastic toad in the hole. So something slightly different now. I know I've done 1 or 2 food recipes, but what I want to do now is to make some mulled wine. Now this is one of my favourites. It's getting towards Christmas time. I'm recording this, well, it's sort of mid-November, so we're coming into the festive season, but it's never too early for a cheeky mulled wine. Anyway, so I'm going to have a look. Hopefully I've got all the ingredients. So let's start cooking. So first of all, we need to add 80 to 120 grams of sugar. So let's put this in here. Tell you what, let's go for don't want to go over the top. Right, 113, that'll do. Between 80 and 120 grams. Next one, 250 grams of water. So again, need to be really careful with this because you can't take it out very easily. Here we are, 253, absolutely spot on. 20 grams of lemon juice, or approximately half a lemon. So what I am going to do, I didn't prepare this, I should have. So let's get some lemon in here. So it's saying approximately half a lemon, 20 grams. Clearly we don't know what size lemon. Pop that on the side. So just squeeze it out. So we're up to 16, okay, 17 grams, so that should be okay. We're almost there. And then next one, so 2 cinnamon quills. I must admit, I haven't got some cinnamon quills, so what I have done is I've done a bit of research and I've found that I can add some cinnamon in. There we are. So I'll just put it's normally about a teaspoon of cinnamon in there, and apparently that's equivalent to putting 2 cinnamon quills in there. Next, 12 whole cloves. So I should have opened this first, really, shouldn't I? Ill prepared. Anyway, so let's count out 12 cloves. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. Pop those in there. 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. So there's not a lot in there. Let's just get a little teaspoon out. So we're going for 1/4 teaspoon. So that really is quite a small amount. Nearly got too much in there. Just managed to save that. Next, so place the simmering basket instead of the measuring cup on top of the mixing bowl lid. So let's just pop that on there. And let's get the simmering basket. That's it. So we're going to pop that on there. Next, we need to turn the speed selector to 1. And that's going to take about 5 minutes to do this process. It's cooking at, well, it's 100 degrees, so it's going to get warm, and it's only on the low speed setting, so it's not going to really grind it very fast. So I'm just going to leave that for about 5 minutes and see what it's like. So now that process is finished, let's stop that. Let's click next. So this is the main ingredient. We need to add 750 grams of dry red wine, 1 bottle. Must admit, when it comes to wine, I don't know a lot about red wine. I do know that I do like South African. So this is one that I've had quite a few bottles of. Not that I drink a lot, but this is a Malbec limited edition. As I say, South African is one of my favourites. So let's pop this in here. That smells really good. You can certainly get all of the flavours and everything that we put in so far. So there we go. And so put that in, insert the measuring cup into the mixing bowl lid. So we've got rid of, there we are. So pop the measuring cup into there, press next, turn speed selector to 1, and away we go. So as it says, that's cooking at the lower temperature now. So it's only heating up to 80 degrees rather than 100 degrees of before. That's for around 7 minutes. So all you need to do is just tap the screen to stop the audible sound. I must admit, I was upstairs and I heard that it finished, so I just wanted to come down and stop it. Anyway, on to next. So strain through the simmering basket into a serving jug. Now, let's just take that off. I must admit, that smells fantastic. Absolutely lovely. So I know it's a little bit crude, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour this. So as per the instructions, I'm just going to pour it through the simmering basket. I'll just put it into a bowl at the moment. I'll explain why in a second. There we are. Absolutely perfect. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this a quick rinse out. So you see, I've actually got a jacket on at the moment. So I'm actually going around the corner to one of my friend's house. I've been given the task to make some mulled wine. So I've got my shoes on, got my jacket on. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this back. I'm just going to give this quick rinse out. You'll see you've got some of just a little bit of the dregs. I suppose you've got the cloves, the whole cloves that I put in earlier. A little bit of residue around the edge. That's fine. That's really what putting it through the simmering basket's all about. What I've done is I've actually put it back in the jug for now. Just before I go around the corner to go and see my friends, I am going to try some. Let's hope I don't spill it. But, oh, the aromas from that. As I say, I absolutely love mulled wine. Now that is fantastic. It's not too strong. I've had some mulled wines before where they can be, where they've either had too much sugar or not enough sugar. But that, I think it's a combination of the amount of sugar I put in, because I put the maximum amount around 120 grams. I think that's helped. Also combine that with the South African wine. As I mentioned earlier, there's nothing like a good South African. So if I stay here, I'm just going to finish this. So, love it. Anyway, I think that's been quite a success. For this recipe, using the Thermomix, I'm going to be making butter chicken. Now, this is something that I must admit has been recommended to me one of my friends has made this and she said it's really good. So I thought I'd go on her recommendation. And I've got all the ingredients. There's quite a lot of preparation in this, so hopefully I've got everything ready just to make this process quite simple. Now the first thing is to place a large bowl on the mixing lid. I've actually already done this separately. What this is doing, this is actually saying to put the chicken on top and then to basically marinate it with some of the chicken tikka paste. I've already done that. I'll just show you this. So that's already prepared. What I am going to do that I did forget is to change the portion sizes, because what I want to do is I'm actually going to prepare it for 6 people rather than 4 people, although the meal itself is actually for 4, but what I am going to do is to change it because I'd always like a little bit extra. Now that I've got it changed to 6 portions, then we can crack on. So what we'll do, right, so I must admit I haven't made a huge number of Indian style meals. We do like Indian as a family, but what I wanted to do was to try and make everything from scratch, because I have been told that this is a really nice recipe. Anyway, I've had to really hunt for this. This is pure butter ghee. It's something that not many supermarkets sell it, but what I need to do is to put 60 grams in here. So there's not too much that we need to put in. So what's that, 40? There we are. That's close enough for me. 62 grams. So, next one. Place the simmering basket instead of the measuring cup on the mixing bowl lid. Simmering basket. There we are. So it's turn speed selector to 1. And it's only 58 seconds, so that's just quickly whizzing it around. There we are, that process is done. And as I've always said before, all you need to do is just touch the screen and then it stops the noise. So then we need to add the 230 grams of onions. So let's just take those off for a moment. And I must admit, it has heated the ghee. It's melted at the bottom, so that's looking really good. So I have prepared the onions. So I've got 230 grams of onions, only quartered, doesn't need to be sliced at all. Pop those in. There's no point me doing the work when the Thermomix can do it for us. So 30 grams of fresh root ginger, peeled, cut into slices around 2 millimeters. So I have prepared this already. There we are. I must say I have washed my hands beforehand, so don't worry, I know I'm handling the food, but I shouldn't worry too much about that. Next, 15 grams of fresh coriander. So this is one thing that I've brought. So I've bought a whole bunch of it. So I just thought it's easier to pop it in here like that, rather than pre-weighing it. 15 grams, there we go. Next, 4 to 5 garlic cloves to taste. So I think we are going to smell a little bit tonight. I've got the garlic here, pop that in. 3 fresh green chilies, half de-seeded if desired. Now I have asked of the members of the family if they wanted it to have chilies in. There was a general consensus that they're not too keen on it being too spicy, so all I have done, rather than 2 or 3, I'm going to sneak 1 in there. So I've cut stuff into small pieces. It's just 1 chilli and I have de-seeded it, so hopefully it won't be too spicy. Insert measuring cup into the mixing bowl lid, then next So turn speed selector to 5. What this is going to do, it's going to heat it a little bit up to 55 degrees. It's only 15 seconds, but I need to turn it up to speed selector 5. There we go, all done. That was a quick one. Next, scrape down the sides of the mixing bowl with a spatula. Oh yeah. So you can see, let's just take that out and show you. You can see that that's what is inside at the moment. And because it's whisked it quite a lot, then you will notice that that's really why I need to just get the spatula and scrape down the sides. So now that I've got all of that pushed down to the bottom, there we are, just scrape the sides. Must admit, this is really good actually. So let's pop that back on there. Next, place the simmering basket instead of the measuring cup on the mixing bowl lid. So it's almost just swapping these two around at the moment. Then turn speed selector to 2. This is sauteing, so this is the simmering basket in place of the measuring cup, and it's going to take around 5 minutes. So I'm just going to go and start to look at the rest of the dinner to see what I can get prepared. Now that is smelling absolutely fantastic. Just going to show you that. Ooh, hot at the bottom, but that's looking absolutely awesome. Right, 1.5 teaspoons of fine sea salt. Now, some of this is a little bit of a guess, but 3 teaspoons of ground cumin. So 3 teaspoons. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Pop the lid on so we don't get those mixed up. Next, 3 teaspoons of ground coriander. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Next, add in 3/4 teaspoon of ground turmeric. Look at that. Not even opened this one yet. Completely failed. Anyway, 3/4 teaspoon. So you don't need too much in there. There we go. And place the simmering basket instead of the measuring cup on the mixing bowl lid. There we are, the simmering basket on there again. Next, so turn speed selector to 2. This again is going to be sauteing for about 3 minutes. It's heating it up to around 95 degrees, so I'm just going to leave that to do its thing. So it's just finishing off now. There we go. Done. Next, so add 150 grams of water. So I've got some water here. Let's just take the simmering basket off there. Let's just tear that, there we go. So 150 grams. So I do have to be really careful because I just don't want to overdo it. 136, 153, there we go. That is near enough. Where are we going? So, place simmering basket instead of the measuring cup on the mixing bowl lid. We've got quite a good use of the simmering basket this time. Next, 5 minutes. So, turn it up there. So it's going to be cooking with the simmering basket in place. And, well, leave that for another 5 minutes. There we go. So that section is finished now. And so add the reserved marinated chicken. There we go. This is where we start to get to the proper cooking phase. So I must admit, I did this a couple of hours ago, hopefully just to get it marinated nicely. Let's pop that all in there. There we go, put that to the side. Next, add 110 grams of tomato puree. Get that all in there. There we go. So that should be enough in there. Next, 600 grams of single cream. Now, let's just tare that to make sure it's, there we go, 0 grams. So 600 grams, which is quite a lot. Fortunately, I've got a second one, quite prepared. So there's quite a bit to go in here. And I've got almost enough. I'm a touch short on that. I have underestimated a little bit, but that's all I've got. So then we need to place the simmering basket on top and turn the speed selector. There we go. So now that's going to take around 20 minutes to cook. This is almost the final stage of it. So this is where the chicken and everything will be mixing together and cooking. It's at 100 degrees, so it's quite a low temperature it's cooking at. But to finish the meal off, I'm going to cook some rice separately. I must admit, I want everything to be ready together, and I know you can do rice in the Thermomix, but because I want it all to be ready together at the same time, for the 4 of us eating, then I'm going to cook it separately in a pan. And also, I've got 2 nice cheeky naan breads, so I'm going to get those heated up. But for now, I'm going to go and get the table set and wait for that to finish cooking. So just while this is cooking away, I'm not sure if you got any wine recommendations. I must admit, I'm a huge fan of red and white wines. What would you have with this? This is what I've got at the moment. It's a Sauvignon Blanc, another South African wine. One of the recipes I did the other day had a red South African wine. Quite a fan of South African. So, but if you've got a recommendation, then what would you recommend that I... Right, here we go. So this is the moment of truth, and a little picture on there. It just says it's served hot with rice or Indian bread to soak up the sauce. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look to see what this looks like, because I'm going to try and show you this. Let me try and angle the camera down, because this looks, where are we going? This looks just awesome, honestly. And the smell, just the smell from it. I'm just going to pop it down. Now, I've got a teaspoon here. I'm just going to try a bit of this. That sauce is absolutely divine. So what I've done is I've got some rice boiling in the background. That's done. Got some naan breads in the oven just heating up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and enjoy the meal with the family. I hope you enjoyed this video on the butter chicken. Thank you very much for joining me. So I just want to show you this just before I go and sit down and eat the wonderful butter chicken. Just wanted to show you this. So again, I'm really impressed with how easy it was to make, considering how well it tastes. So I'm going to go and enjoy with the family. Hi, for this recipe I'm going to be doing something slightly different. What we're going to do is we're going to be making some oat milk. Now you might have noticed I said we, because the whole idea of the Thermomix is it's a very safe machine to use, clearly, but also it's something that's very easy to use. And what I want to do is, I know I've done several recipes with it. At 44 years old, I've prepared quite a few meals over the years. I know William smiles at that because he thinks I'm the old man. But anyway, what I want to do is I want to get William involved in this. So with the oat milk, basically I've asked him if he would help me make it. So unless he needs any help, he's going to make some oat milk for us. So we've got some, so this is a really simple recipe, and the oat milk costs a fraction compared to if you're going to buy it in the supermarket. So I think what we need to do, we need to get started. Right, so if you want to have a look, so all we need to do is press the start cooking. So, right, so the first thing is place the simmering basket instead of the measuring cup on the mixing bowl lid. Well, we've already got it on there, so that's already done. So if you want to press next, so add to the simmering basket 125 grams of rolled oats. So what you'll find is that it's going to show on the display. It'll this is weighing them out at the moment. So there we go. So 131 grams. Tell you what, I think that's close enough. So if you want to pop this to the side, then press next. So rinse well under running water through simmering basket and transfer into a bowl. So if you want to do that then. So all we're doing here is we're just rinsing the oats under water. It's just a quick rinse. There we go. I think that's good enough. And we need to transfer it to a bowl. Tell you what, if you want to come and do it here, that's it. So all we're going to do, we're just going to get a spoon and just scrape the rest out. But that's just showing the oats in here. And so if you want to see what is next on the list, so cover with water and set aside approximately 20 to 60 minutes. So if you want to do that, so if you just want to put some water, and all we need to do is just put it up to the level, so just take it slightly over the level of the oats and then leave that for about 20 minutes. There we are, so that should be fine. There we go. I can't really tip it up that much more, but anyway, just take my word for it. We've got the water in here on top of the oats. Now all we're going to do is just going to leave this for, I'd say, about around 20 to 30 minutes. I've got another recipe lined up as well. Right, so now we've left it. It must be it's going to be about 60 minutes now. It does say in the instructions to leave it for 20 to 60 minutes. What I am doing is I'm actually almost combining two recipes in one. I'm skipping between another one as well. I'm making some cinnamon buns, and then I'm coming back to the oat milk with Will. But what I want to do is we're going to carry on with this. So if you just want to hold it up to the camera, you can see, that's it. So you can see that it's soaked up all of the water. So if you want to press next in the instructions, and it says use the simmering basket, drain and rinse the soaked oats well to remove any starchy residue. So if you want to grab that, you just want to open it out. That's it. So all you need to do is just go to the sink, so not on there. Just go to the sink and we're just going to rinse, so just drain it into there. That's it. And just that's it, brilliant. And then just give it a quick rinse. A little bit more water, I'd say. That's it. Brilliant. Right. So now we're done. Well done, Will. I'm going to bring it over here and tell you what, that's it, just pop it on the top there. If you want to press next. So, tell you what, pop that to the side. I suppose it wasn't quite clear what to do with the oats. I know it's quite natural to put them on top of the container, but if you want to put those to the side, that's it. Yeah, just pop them to the side, because then we need to add 700 grams of water. So just take the lid off. That's it. Just press that button at the bottom, tear, and all that does is that just zeroes it. And there's some water behind you in the container that I've got ready. So all we're going to do is we're going to add, press that again, so add 700 grams of water, just pop it in there. And it's quite easy to overdo it. See where we're at, oh, just steady. 720, so I think what we're going to do, I'm just going to pour a little bit out. I know it probably doesn't make a huge difference when it comes to this, but I like to try and keep it as accurate as possible. So now we're down to 680. If just want to pop a little bit more in. Go on, touch more, see if you can get it to, as close to 700 as you can. 698, gonna get it to 700. Can I get it? 702, almost, right. Anyway, that's good enough for me. So, oh, I'm not doing this. If you want to press the next button. There we are. So that's saying you can add a couple of dates, pitted. We've not got any dates at the moment. So if you just want to press the next button, add the drained oats. So if you want to add the oats into there. There we are. A bit of a splash, little bit of a splash, bit of a plop as it went in. There we are. Press the next button. We're just going to get the towel and we're not going to use the sleeve, are we? Well, if you just want to give the screen a quick wipe, that's it. We've just got a dribble coming down here. Let's just put that to the side. So insert the measuring cup onto the mixing bowl lid. That's it. So put the lid on. And it's not the simmering basket, so this one is the mixing bowl. That's it. Well done. And next, so what we're doing next. So we need to turn the speed selector, which is that dial there, to number 4. To number 4, keep going, that's it. There we go. And that's just blending everything. And that's going to take around 53 seconds. Okay, as we can see, that's done. So if you want to press next. So use a nut milk bag, strain the mixture into a large jug, squeezing to extract all the liquid. So we have got one of these, and I must say this is thanks to the lady that I borrowed this off. Thank you, Louise, for the, what do we call it, a nut milk bag. These are available pretty much anywhere, any decent supermarkets, or you can buy them online as well. So what we're going to do is we just need to strain the mixture into a large jug. So we just want to, as you can see, it's pretty, no, I can't turn it. If I turn it too much, then I'm going to spill it everywhere. So all we're going to do is I'm actually going to get a bowl rather than a jug and just pour it in, and then we'll start using the bag. So all we're going to do is we're going to do it slightly differently. Rather than putting it on the work surface so that you can see it, we're going to pour it in. That's it. If you want to pour away, do it gently. Gently. I think keep pouring. There we go. So we're making sure that we get everything out. Try and get as much. That's it. So just pop that to the side. If you want to lift the bag. So fortunately, William has washed his hands already. And the idea now is that you're going to squeeze the bag. The look on his face at the moment, he's not been told that, has he? So he's going to squeeze the bag to get as much liquid out as possible. Look at that. Getting your hands dirty in the process. And I'm managing to keep my hands clean, which is always a good thing. That's it, right down to the bottom. And we're getting a little bit on the floor, but that doesn't matter. That's part of the fun of it. There we go. So I would say we are pretty much done there. Well done, Will. And these kind of things are really difficult to get clean. So there's my personal opinion, just leave it, that's it. So if you want to just pop it by the sink, and if you want to go and wash your hands. So my personal opinion is that you probably wouldn't reuse the bags. Let me know what you think. Would you reuse the bag? Would you try and wash it? Personally, I'm probably not going to. I think the cost of these, it's not worth trying to get it clean. But let me know what you think. Right, so just to finish this recipe off, all we've done is we've popped it into a jug, and now we put it into a proper milk bottle. Again, this is one that I got from Louise, so thank you very much, although we'll have to give it back. We're just going to pop a little bit in here. Try that. That's really nice. I must admit, I think it's better refrigerated. So what we're going to do is to finish this off, I'm going to pop it in the fridge, and I think that's this recipe done. Thank you very much, Will, for helping me, and thanks for joining us. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry it was quite a long video. If you followed it all the way through and enjoyed some of the recipes, then thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it, seen some of the the meals and some of the different recipe ideas that I've come up with. As I mentioned towards the beginning of the video, I'm not selling this at all. It's one of my friends, Louise, that if you are interested, then just pop a comment or message me and I can pass your information on if you want to. Louise can be in contact with you. But I hope you enjoyed the video on the Thermomix TM6. If you've got any questions on it, I suppose because there is a huge amount to talk about, I know I won't have fully covered what it can do, but I didn't want to make the video too long. But if you've got any questions on it, just pop it in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Anyway, I would normally say please subscribe to my YouTube channel, just give us a quick thumbs up, hit the like button, and thank you very much for joining me.